You live to the coastal city where my colleague John Jacob Kyrie is currently attending the Special Economic Zone Public Participation Exercise. JJ, good afternoon and good to see you. What can you tell me about the first day of this particular public participation exercise?
Good afternoon, Abdiaziz Hashim. Like you rightly pointed out, we are in Mombasa, and there's a public participation exercise ongoing to the act that establishes the Special Economic Zones Authority, and that is obviously to make it more effective because, you know, the amount or the input of special economic zones to the economy of the country. And you remember that this is one of President William Ruto's focal points in terms of boosting the economy of the country. Kennedy Chelule is the CEO of the Special Economics Authority. That is a Special Economics Authority, the CEO, and joins me right here. Thank you very much for joining us. Absolutely. Just tell us very quickly in a nutshell what is happening in Mombasa this afternoon.
Thank you. And I want to tell the public that today we have an ongoing exercise on public participation. Special Economic Zones Authority is about 7 years old in terms of existence, and over the years we've seen over implementing this program, we've had challenges in some specific aspects of the law. So investors have been asking us whether we could be in a position to amend. So we've been listening and collecting views, and today's exercise is as a result of amalgamation of those views which we want to input in order to make the program a bit more investor friendly and globally competitive. As you know, we are competing with other countries when it comes to implementing the Special Economic Zones program.
There's the obvious question of why special economic or SEZs are not operating optimally in Kenya. You're elucidating the figures about the contribution to GDP. You're talking about the potential of 13%. Why are we not operating at optimum?
Of course, some of the reasons are the ones causing us to amend the law. Okay, I can give an example of the issue of the program connecting with the local economy. Previously, you would buy materials, be it mango, avocado, processed in the zone, and when you sell it back in the country, as in to the territory which is called Kenya. I must point out at this stage that Special Economic Zone is an enclave, so it is slightly enclosed, and therefore it was not connecting well with the resources we have as a country. Therefore, there was a need to consider how do we make it possible for investors who are coming from outside the country to be able to connect back to the economy. Hence the reason why we introduced local content during the last financial year, I mean this financial year which just gone, so that when you buy from the local, the country, you process your goods in the zone. When you sell it back to the country, you factor in the local content so that what you need to do is pay for only the imported component, whether it's packaging, whether it's aspect of that make up that product. So that way, at least there is backward linkages, and our farmers, the people who own local resources, can benefit from it. So that has been one of the main contestation among the investors. As we continue doing further amendments, of which what we are doing today will amalgamate all those views, we believe come next year, when the law is passed, we will be very competitive compared to countries such as Ethiopia, Morocco, Dubai, and others.
There's some good news for the Republic of Kenya, and of course in recognition of what President William Ruto is doing to put emphasis on economic zones. Kenya has been fitted because of 2 of its SEZs. Probably very quickly you can tell us in a nutshell what is this good news for Kenya?
Oh, thank you. I'm happy you've recognized that. Yeah. Last week we were in Morocco. The African Economic Zones Organization, which is the apex body for all special economic zones in the continent, had a conference for this year. And during that period, Tatu City and Konsa Technopolis were recognized by United Nations, that's UNCTAD, as ESG model zones. And by the way, this is very good. Why? Because globally, 50 countries were selected. 9 came from Africa and 2 are from Kenya. This is, we have to recognize this as an achievement for SEZ, that within this short time of existence, we're able to push 2 zones. And we're hoping that by next year, we'll have added more so that as a country, we want to be seen to be ESG compliant. Yeah,
That's the good news.
that's good news, obviously. And the other good news is that, obviously, out of that conference, we've now been put under the steering committee of the ISO, and by default, next year we'll be hosting a big conference for the continent and ISO conference. Yep.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll talk more. Obviously, this is an ongoing exercise. It is right here in Mombasa. There will be another in Nairobi. There will be another in Nyeri. And the entire process really focuses on strengthening the special economic zones under this authority that is led by Kennedy Chelule. And of course, we'll be giving you an update and, of course, a comprehensive briefing on what will be discussed here, right here in Mombasa in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, let me hand you back to Abdulaziz Hashim to continue with the rest of the bulletin. Back to you, Abdulaziz.
Thank you so much, JJ. And of course, you'll duly inform us on how the public participation exercise is currently ongoing in Mombasa. And of course, we want to continue with that. And that is the discussion we'll be also having later on in terms of entrepreneurship here in the country. But first things first, we need to take a short commercial break, but don't go too far. We'll have that discussion for you on the other side of the break.